The topic of this video is going to be about veganism. The topic of this video is going to be about veganism. Okay, so veganism. Yeah, so this video is going to be about veganism. Now, you know, like, all right. So as always, like, there's so many different ways to start, like, to start a video, you know, but veganism, right? It's very it actually kind of because I used to be a vegan in my younger teen years and stuff like that and stuff. I'm gonna get into this a little bit more later on. But veganism, first of all, what is veganism? Like, I'm just gonna give you like a quick definition on what veganism is. You know me, I always like to give quick basic definitions and explanations. I don't want to get too much into the details, you know, but veganism is basically that animals should be respected, they should not be mistreated in any way, and they should not be used for food and etc and stuff, and they should just have the same rights that we humans have. Basically, sort of like that. Veganism is sort of like that. Obviously, there are more academic definitions of veganism, and I probably got a couple things wrong, so I'm not gonna. So you shouldn't just take my word for it and stuff like that. You can look up the more academic definitions of veganism. Anyway, but veganism, basically, veganism is about like how animals, they should be treated like us human beings. They should be respected. They should not be abused and used as a food source and etc and stuff like that, and farmed and blah blah blah. They should be treated with respect, and basically they should be treated like us human beings. They should not be abused in any way and stuff like that, and you know, and farmed and used as like as a food source for us human beings and stuff. Veganism, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. That's what it's basically. It's kind of like you should just love animals and treat them with a lot of respect. That's what veganism is sort of about. I know it's kind of, it sounds like I'm just kind of taking the mick out of veganism and stuff like that. Obviously, again, there are more academic definitions of veganism, and there, you know, if you care about that, you can just go into Google and research about that. Again, I just like giving you like quick, easy to understand basic definitions and examples and stuff like this, and explanations, blah blah blah. So veganism, basically, you love animals a lot, and you don't like contribute to their suffering, like, you know, because, you know, animal like a lot of what veganism is about trying to kind of reduce like animal agriculture. Basically, like we at the moment, as human beings, we use animals as a food source. We cage them up, we abuse them, we forcefully breed them to become like to become our food source and stuff like that, so that they can multiply, and so that we can kind of farm some of them and stuff like that. We human beings, we use animals as a food source, animal agriculture. You know, veganism sort of against this. Veganism sort of like a lot of what veganism is about is like, again, trying to kind of reduce a lot more animal suffering, and to kind of treat animals with more respect and give them more rights, and put them on the same level as us human beings in terms of rights as well. Like, basically, veganism wants to kind of like make animals equal, like veganism is about kind of like elevating animals to the same level as a human being, in terms of like morals and ethics and stuff like that, and in terms of respect. Like, animals should be respected the same way that we respect each other and stuff, sort of like that. Again, there are more academic definitions of veganism anyway, but that's what veganism is basically about. That you should love animals very much, and you should treat them with a lot of respect, and you should not use them as a food source. But, you know, anyway, yeah, so animal agriculture, I was also talking about this. You know, animal agriculture, we human beings, we use animals as a food source, and we cage them up, and we forcefully breed them, and we make them like multiply so that we can consume the offspring and the children, and so that it becomes like a cycle and stuff, and so that we can keep using them as like a food source. And, you know, plenty of different animals are kept in cages and abused, and again forcefully bred, so that we can use their offspring, and it turns into a cycle and stuff like that, which is not pretty. It's not very pretty. Animal agriculture is not pretty, and, you know, this is why, you know, a lot of vegans, they do use a lot of good. Like, if you're not a psychopath or a sociopath, there's a difference. But if you do have any level of empathy, and you don't just want to see creatures and animals, creatures, like living things, get tortured and abused. I mean, veganism is reasonable. Animal agriculture is kind of it sort of is kind of atrocious. Animal agriculture, the way we farm animals, the way we like we keep animals in cages, and we forcefully breed them, and we make them like we make them like kind of like fit into like tight cages, and we abuse them and stuff like that, and we forcefully impregnate them. Like look at how like cows specifically, look at like a lot of like look at animal, in terms of animal agriculture. So you need to like do some research on how cows are treated in the farms, dairy farms and stuff like this. Very atrocious, man. I'm telling you, like animal agriculture is not pretty, and so a lot of vegans, they do, I mean, it is very, they are reasonable. They do have a worthy cause and stuff like that, you know, because a lot of vegans, like veganism tends to get mocked a lot. People like they take the mick out of it for no legitimate reason. In my opinion, veganism is perfectly admirable to treat like animals, because animals, they cannot go against the human beings' wishes. They're completely at our mercy, and it's kind of despicable that so many human beings just see animals as like a food source. They don't care about their treatment. They just don't care if like chickens get thrown into cages and like kind of like tortured a lot. Basically their entire lives are like a nightmare, you know what I mean? Look at animal agriculture. There's so many videos about this. Look at how chickens and cows and all these other animals we use as a food source are farmed, and like how they're kept in like tight cages and stuff like that, and they're forcefully bred and stuff, and like kind of they're also like injected with a lot of different things, hormones and stuff like this. Man, it's very disgusting. It is despicable, because you know, animals, they cannot go against our wishes. The human being, we're at the top of the food chain due to whatever, like just because of how we developed, and so we just went to the top of the food chain and stuff. And so, you know, other animals, they're just at our mercy. They're at our mercy, and so it is despicable that, right? A lot of human beings, like we don't care. Like it's just animals, like a lot of us human beings, we don't care about them. We just see them like as a food source. Like if they get mistreated, we don't really care, obviously, which is kind of very despicable and stuff. I don't know. It's very sad. I don't know. It's just how it is, though. I don't know. Veganism, yeah. The topic of this video is about veganism, though, and veganism again. How does it relate to me and stuff in my personal history and journey and stuff? Again, I mentioned like a little bit earlier that when I was like in my younger teen years, I became a vegan, and it was primarily because of some guy called Vegan Gains. You should know about, if you've been on YouTube for some time, you should know about someone called Vegan Gains. He's like a very popular he used to be like a very popular vegan YouTuber guy. Man, I used to go onto his channel a lot. I used to consume his content a lot. He was very entertaining and stuff like that. Vegan Gains, I don't, you know, if you should know what I'm talking about, or who I'm talking about, if you've been on YouTube for some time. Vegan Gains, man, that guy was so cool. He was really cool back in like 2016, because now it's 2023. Before like the 2020s rolled off, he was like very cool. Now his channel's kind of dead, and he's kind of become a little bit lazy and not really being productive anymore. He's kind of burned out. He doesn't really have the same motivation and drive anymore that he used to when he first started his Vegan Gains YouTube channel. But that guy, man, Vegan Gains, he's the reason. He convinced me to become a vegan when I was like in my younger teen years, and I completely emulated everything that he did. I brought like the B12 supplements and the vitamin D supplements and all these different supplements that you're supposed to take as a vegan, and I ate like a vegan diet. I didn't eat any animal products like dairy, chicken, meat and stuff like this, and eggs and blah blah blah. I didn't eat any animal products. I was basically a vegan when I was in my teen years. And so so what went wrong? Really, veganism, I don't know. I just kind of felt like a lot of like at the beginning, you don't really notice any type of symptoms when you just become a vegan. Like I know, like if you go onto the internet, you go into like a lot of videos about ex-vegans. Typically, when you become a vegan, you do not experience the side effects of veganism immediately. A lot of people say that they actually feel better when they just become a vegan. I don't know. This is only like after a while, you start to get this type of fatigue that comes with just only eating plant derived products. Is that appropriate? Is that the right terminology? I don't know. When you don't consume any animal products for a long period of time, you develop this type of fatigue, because I believe that vegetables and fruits, they're not adequate. They're not adequate for our health. There's so many different nutrients that are missing, I guess, and I don't know. Maybe not necessarily, because I know Vegan Gains, he really pushes for veganism quite strongly. He pushes for veganism quite strongly and stuff. He really pushes veganism quite strongly. Pushes veganism. He pushes for it, and he's saying that it is possible to kind of to meet all of your nutritional requirements on an only vegan diet and stuff. And it's kind of still, it's kind of a lot of the nutritional side of veganism is kind of a little bit wishy-washy, and I'm not a nutritionist. I'm just giving you my own personal experience with the vegan diet. But from my experience and stuff like that, I took the B12 supplements. I took all the right supplements. I still, like, in the beginning, I didn't feel like any of the major side effects, right? But after a while of like being a vegan and not consuming any animal products, I started to develop like a lot of different fatigue, mental fatigue, brain fog. Didn't have like a high energy level, and a lot of vegans, maybe even vegan gains, he might just say that it's because that you weren't eating enough calories or something, or you weren't taking the right supplements or something like this, or your diet was missing something or something. It's not it's not just because of veganism itself. And I do agree. I believe you could. But then again, a vegan diet is a high carbohydrate diet, right? You're only eating carbohydrates because, vegetables, fruits, that's it. That's it, basically. Beans, legumes. You're only eating vegetables and fruits and beans and nuts and seeds and stuff like that. You're not eating anything else. Basically, you're only eating carbohydrates, and that's kind of, is that really beneficial for our health? I don't know. There's a lot of the nutritional science is kind of wishy-washy stuff. I don't know. So I don't want to just kind of act like I know what I'm talking about in regards to like a nutrition and stuff like this. Again, I'm just giving you my experience and stuff. But a vegan diet, it's a high carbohydrate diet, and it is sort of like it is just you're only eating carbohydrates. I don't think you're only eating carbohydrates because not like animal products. Like carbohydrates primarily are plants and vegetables and fruits. These are just carbohydrates. Animal products are the only thing that can't be counted as carbohydrates, in my opinion. I think, I don't know. Although there could be some like avocados and stuff, like maybe things are high in fat and low in carbs and so I don't know. But still, a vegan diet is primarily a high carbohydrate diet. Is that beneficial for our health? I don't know. And again, I'm only giving you my experience with the vegan diet. But in my experience, at the beginning when I just became a vegan, I didn't experience any like major symptoms and side effects. It's just after a couple years of being a vegan, when I was in my younger teen years, I started to like feel a lot of fatigue. I felt like a lot of fatigue and just didn't feel good anymore after a long time. My brain felt dry. You know what I mean? I had to consume like coconut oil, like eat like some more fat, because that's kind of the issue when you're on a vegan diet. You don't your body, like you should know, if you've ever been like a vegan for a long time, like you don't have like fat is such an issue, like getting the right amount of fat into your diet. Obviously a lot of vegans will say, well, you could just eat animal product, like not animal products, you can eat like oils, different oils and like nuts and seeds and stuff like this that can give you all your fat needs and blah blah blah, and maybe avocado as well. I don't know, I tried that, I still felt like very deficient. It's only when anyway, and the fatigue, it was starting to really get me down and stuff, and so inevitably I did give up on veganism, and I kind of returned to like a more animal product based diet. And me returning to an animal product based diet, it was because of another YouTuber called Spherage. Man, Vegan Gains and Spherage, you should know who these guys are. They were they were like very influential for my younger teen years. Like the Vegan Gains, he was pushing for veganism, and Spherage, this is kind of like a weird guy. He had blonde hair. He's kind of anyway, and he was like pushing for us to consume raw animal products, which is kind of weird and very insane. So I used to watch this other guy, this guy called Spherage. He eats raw animal products. I thought that was kind of crazy. I thought he might get like sick or something from it, but he didn't. Apparently, and he's still like alive and stuff, which is kind of surprising. But anyway, he kind of convinced me to like kind of return to animal products a little bit, and so I started to eat animal products again, and I did feel some like boost in energy and stuff like that when I could start to consume animal products again after being a vegan for like a couple years. And my experience with veganism, with the vegan diet, at the beginning I didn't experience any side effects and symptoms, and actually I enjoyed being a vegan because I don't like animal suffering. I'm not just some selfish cunt. I do not enjoy animals getting tortured in like little cages in so many different places around the world. I don't know. Animal suffering is not my thing. It's quite disgusting in my opinion. I do not enjoy animal suffering. So when I first became a vegan, I was actually very joyful and stuff like that. Oh, you can be completely healthy. You can be healthy and stuff like that, and you don't have to like abuse animals and stuff. And that's so amazing in my opinion. And I became a vegan and stuff like that because you could be super healthy without torturing animals. Why would anyone like if this was actually true, if a lot of what the vegans were saying was true, like especially the nutritional side of veganism, if that was true, right? And that's amazing because you can be healthy without without torturing animals, and I do not agree with animal suffering at all. A lot of people that take the mick out of vegans, they make fun of like the animal suffering and stuff like that, which is kind of insane to me. A lot of people that take the mick out of vegans, like veganism is so beautiful, such a beautiful ideology and stuff. In my opinion, I do not see any wrong with veganism. It's such a beautiful ideology. To not take part in animal suffering, to not needlessly abuse animals for no reason, just so you can, just because you're like some type of selfish cunt, you just want to eat like bacon and eggs or something, or chicken or meat. You just like the taste of meat, and so you want animal suffering to exist. That's so insane to me. I don't know. That's why a lot of people are like this. They don't care about like animal suffering when they just take the mick out of vegans. Oh, animal suffering, oh, who cares? I like the taste of bacon or meat or any other type of animal product, so I don't care about animal suffering. I'm still going to consume animal products. This is insane to me. Veganism is such a beautiful ideology. I will never again, I would never take the mick out of vegans. Vegans are admirable. Veganism is such a beautiful ideology. I still admire the vegan message and agenda and whatever, even though I consume animal products, because the nutritional side of veganism is kind of a little wishy-washy in my opinion. And again, on my personal experience with the vegan diet is that I started to experience a lot of different fatigue problems when I was consuming a vegan diet, and I did take all the right supplements, ate all the right proportions of food and stuff like that, and had the right caloric intake, and I just didn't feel good even after eating so much of the supposedly right stuff, of like the right vegan diets and stuff. I did look at a lot of different types of vegan diets and like a lot of different like ratios and proportions of food and stuff like that, and which types of foods. I did rotate my diet around when I was a vegan, but I still felt fatigued until I started to consume animal products again, blah blah blah. That's why I stopped being a vegan. And Vegan Gains, again, because it goes back to Vegan Gains, and because he really pushed me and convinced me to become a vegan when I was in my younger teen years. Vegan Gains is, to me, it's like it's so sad to see his YouTube channel dying. Vegan Gains, he used to be like popping on YouTube when he was like right before the 2020 started to roll out. His channel was popping, man. His channel was popping. I say it was popping. It was Mary Poppins. I don't know. It was popping. It was so popular. His channel used to be so popular right before the 2020s rolled out. I don't know, and it's so sad. Vegan Gains, what's going on with you if you're watching this video? You used to be Mary Poppins. Used to be. Don't come too close. There you want it. Vegan Gains, what's going on with you? You used to be Mary Poppins. Your YouTube channel used to be popping, man. It used to be popular. It used to become you were like you could have been the next PewDiePie. What's going on with you, man? It's kind of sad to me to see Vegan Gains, his YouTube channel, die. Because Vegan Gains, the reason I became a vegan was because of Vegan Gains. He showed me all like the videos of the animals getting abused. He also kind of tried to convince me of like the nutritional side of veganism, that the vegan diet is superior for human health. Obviously, I don't believe that anymore, because from my personal experience with the vegan diet, I did experience fatigue until I started to regularly consume animal products again. But veganism is like such a beautiful ideology. You cannot fault it in any way, unless you're a psychopath and you just enjoy animal suffering for no reason. I don't know, unless you're a psychopath and you enjoy animal suffering, then you can try and like critique veganism, the ethical side of veganism. I don't understand people that try and critique the ethical side of veganism. Like, are you all psychopaths? I don't know. Do you not care about animal suffering? It's just so insane to me. The ethical side of veganism, trying to critique it, it's stupid. It's stupid in my opinion. Like, you cannot critique the ethical side of veganism. The ethical side of veganism is so reasonable in my opinion. Animal suffering is not good at all. Animal suffering is kind of somewhat despicable, man. It's completely despicable. Animal suffering, I just like the taste of meat, so animal suffering is okay. That's so ridiculous. A lot of people are like this, man. You can't take the mick out of veganism. It's so reasonable, man. Veganism is it's such a beautiful ideology. You cannot take the mick out of it. It's so reasonable. And when I became a vegan, I was so joyful. I'm telling you, because I can be completely healthy without taking part, without contributing to animal suffering and stuff. I was like so happy about that. I was so happy about that, man. I was very happy about that, man. I can be completely healthy and in tip-top condition without contributing to animal suffering. I'm so happy about that. But the sad reality is, the vegan diet, inevitably I did start to experience a lot of fatigue problems and stuff, even after like rotating my vegan diet around, trying different fruits and vegetables and different legumes and stuff like that, trying to change the proportion sizes as well and different calories in and out and stuff. I still felt fatigue after a while, and then I gave up on the vegan diet. But and that's my experience with veganism and stuff. Veganism is a beautiful ideology. It is such a beautiful ideology to not take part in animal suffering. Like a lot of people are like this. I just like the taste of meat. I just like the taste of chicken. So animals have to suffer and die for my taste pleasure. That's a lot of people are like this, man. That's so insane to me. I just like the taste of chicken. I'm gonna eat my chicken. I like the taste of chicken. I like the taste of meat. So animals have to suffer and die because of this. Imagine, forget about animal suffering. Imagine humans. I just enjoy like rape. I enjoy raping women. So I'm gonna do that. Women are used are only for my personal pleasure. Little girls, and so I'm a pedophile. I like abusing little girls for my sexual pleasure. Imagine that. Imagine anyone saying something like that. It is on, like, in terms of like ethics, it's like on the same level. Like a lot, like, as animal, like this is like, because animal suffering, we take the mick out of it. Like, it's kind of stupid because animals, like, we just see them differently as human beings. That's why it's kind of, I don't know. Animal suffering is kind of despicable, man. It's very despicable. People just say like, I'm just gonna eat meat. I'm just gonna eat meat. I'm gonna eat my chicken. I'm gonna eat my chicken and stuff. I'm gonna eat meat just because I like the taste and stuff. Animals have to suffer and die just because I like the taste of chicken and meat and stuff. It's kind of, a lot of people like this. Kind of, just imagine someone saying that, like, instead of using animals, just use humans as an example, right? Imagine like a pedophile saying that about little children or something. I'm gonna rape them just because I like the way they feel. And I don't want to go into that too much because this video might get taken down. But you can see what I'm talking about. This is nonsense. A lot of people are like this, man. Like, they don't care about animal suffering because I just like the taste of chicken, and animals have to suffer and die because of this, just because my taste pleasure is so ridiculous. I don't know. Veganism is a beautiful ideology. I completely, I still agree with it. You'll never like see me argue against the ethical side of veganism. It's just the nutritional side of veganism that's kind of a very suspect in my opinion. That's very suspect. That's like very hard for me. Like it's hard for me to believe that the vegan diet is pure, because I personally tried the vegan diet and I felt a lot of fatigue problems. I started to consume animal products again. A lot of vegans will say, well, you just weren't eating the right types of food, you weren't eating the right proportions, you weren't having the right calories coming in, you weren't using the right supplements. I did a lot of that. I changed everything around. It still felt fatigue problems. I still felt like a lot of different fatigue problems, man. So that was horrible, man. Still felt like a lot of different fatigue problems. I did change the diet around. I changed the diet around. I ate different proportions and stuff like that, and I tweaked everything. I changed all like the important things, and I still felt the fatigue problems. So that's kind of, that's just my personal experience with the vegan diet. I don't believe that it is a superior diet for human health, because I tried it and I just felt a lot of fatigue, a lot of different health problems and stuff, until I started to consume animal products again, and that's why I gave up on the vegan diet. But anyway, Vegan Gains, he kind of he like, to go back to him, he pushed me to become a vegan. He's the guy that convinced me. And his YouTube channel used to be Poppins, used to be Mary Poppins when back like before the 2020s rolled off. His YouTube channel used to be Poppins. He used to be Mary Poppins. You know what I mean? It's kind of sad to see Vegan Gains, him kind of die as a character, as a person, as a YouTube personality. To see him kind of become irrelevant, so depressing and sad to me, man. If you're watching this, Vegan Gains, you gotta like kick yourself and like try and get back to your old self. I don't know. I know you're suffering from depression and stuff like this. I understand where you're coming from, because I have depression problems as well and stuff like that. But you gotta kick yourself, man. You cannot die, man. You can't let your channel die. Used to be Mary Poppins. Your channel used to be popping. It used to be so popular before the 2020s rolled out. It's so sad to see you die, Vegan Gains, if you're watching this video. I don't know, you probably aren't. I don't know. Vegan Gains, he convinced me to become a vegan, but I just really admired him as a person, and like his YouTube channel and stuff like that. I used to really watch it a lot. But he kind of, his channel is dying, blah blah. Obviously, I don't believe he's that really. I don't want to waste too much time on him, because he's not really that relevant to veganism. I mean, for me, he was relevant because he's the guy that pushed me towards veganism. But anyway, I don't want to waste too much time on him though, because I don't know. But veganism, in my opinion, is such a beautiful ideology, man. It's such a beautiful ideology, veganism. Like, you cannot take the mick out of it. It's such a beautiful ideology. How can animal suffering? Animals have to suffer and die because I like to taste the chicken and meat and stuff, and I like drinking milk. That's why animals have to suffer and die. A lot of people are like this. It's so stupid to me. But again, the reason why I gave up on veganism was not because of the ethical side or the ideological side of veganism, but because of the nutritional side. I do not believe that the vegan diet is superior for human health. I tried it personally. I tried changing and tweaking my vegan diet. I tried putting like so many different things into my vegan diet, changing like what I eat, like lentils, went from lentils, kidney beans, all of these types of things. I did everything I could to make the vegan diet work, and it didn't work. And then inevitably I just gave up on it, and I started to consume animal products again because I just felt better after doing that. Now, a lot of people again are so stupid. They take the mick out of veganism. They animal suffering. They just laugh at that. Animal suffering. That's just a joke. Animal suffering is a joke. You know, you kind of take the mick out of it. They just, because I like the taste of chicken and meat, and I like drinking milk, so animals have to suffer and die. This is just ridiculous. It seems like I'm just being kind of satirical and stupid and stuff like that, but you know, a lot of people are like this, man. I'm telling you, a lot of people take the mick out of veganism, and for no good reason. That's kind of stupid to me. The ethical side of veganism is perfectly reasonable. The ethical side of veganism is perfectly reasonable. The ethical side, the nutritional side, is kind of a little bit wishy-washy. I don't believe that the vegan diet is superior for human health and stuff like that. I don't believe that the vegan diet is superior for human health. Because I don't know, I personally tried the vegan diet and it didn't go so well, and that's why I gave up on the vegan diet, because I tried it and it didn't go so well. But veganism is a beautiful ideology. I do not agree with animal suffering. It's very despicable in my opinion. That so many people just turn a blind eye to animal suffering because they just like the taste of chicken and meat, and they like drinking milk and stuff like this, and eating like bacon and eggs and stuff. They just like that, so they turn a blind eye to animal suffering. Imagine someone getting raped and you just, oh, he enjoys it, so I'm just gonna turn a pleasure. People typically they kind of use like, they kind of just use like their pleasure as like an excuse. I don't know, which is kind of, I mean, if we did the same thing for rape, that'd be kind of, you wouldn't accept. Like a lot of people would kind of get be jumping up and down and getting very frantic and angry at me. You know, but anyway, and I don't want to get this video taken down, so I don't want to go into that too much. But you know, the ethical side of veganism is so beautiful, man. You cannot take the mick out of veganism. On the ethical side, the nutritional side's a little bit wishy-washy, you know. And again, that's just because of my personal experience with the vegan diet. I tried to make it work, it just didn't work until I started eating animal products again. I took all the right supplements, the B12, the vitamin D, the DH. What other supplements are there? What other supplements are there? I don't know. The DHA. I don't know, there's other supplements, I can't remember them off the top of my head. I took so many different supplements, it didn't work. I tried to eat all these different types of food, different proportions of food, different calories and stuff coming in and out. It didn't work. The vegan diet just didn't work for me, and that's why I gave up on veganism. Which is, because I hated that I had to give up on veganism, because when I first became a vegan, I was kind of joyful, because oh, no more animals. I don't have to contribute to animal suffering, because you know, I'm not a psychopath. You know, a lot of people are like, they're like psychopaths. They don't care about animal suffering. Why? Just because they like the taste of chicken and meat and eggs and they like drinking milk. So animals have to suffer and die just because of their taste pleasure, which is kind of ridiculous to me. It's so insane to me that animals have to suffer and die because a lot of people just they like the taste of chicken and meat and eggs and drinking milk just because of their taste pleasure. Animals have to suffer and die. Do you know how insane that is? It's kind of very despicable. Veganism's such a beautiful ideology. I'll never take the mick out of it at all. I enjoy it. I respect it so much. There you are. Veganism is such a beautiful ideology. I'll never take the mick out of it. People are like, a lot of people are like, I just like eating chicken. I'm gonna eat my chicken, I'm gonna drink my milk and eat my meat and stuff, and that's why animals have to suffer and die, because of my taste pleasure. And, you know, this is what a lot of people are like. They just take the mick out of veganism because of this, because of their taste pleasure. It's so ridiculous to me, and it's so stupid. You're like, the ethical side of veganism is so beautiful. Veganism is such a beautiful ideology. As an ideology, veganism is so beautiful. Animals are at our mercy. That's so insane. Think about that. Animals are at our mercy. Us human beings, we made it to the top of the food chain for whatever reason and stuff, and now the other animals, they were just at our mercy. You know, if a chicken or a cow came up to you, right, and you were like some type of psychopath, you got a knife and you start to skin it alive, it's not going to be able to, like, it cannot resist you. It's at your mercy. You start to skin this chicken or cow alive, you know, it would not be able to resist you. It's at your mercy. Animals are at our mercy. It's so insane to me, right? That so many human beings, like, they turn a blind eye to animal suffering, like stuff, because they like the taste of chicken and meat and eggs, and they like drinking milk. So animals have to suffer and die and get put in cages and abused until they're too old, and then they get forcefully killed and cut up and turned into like burgers and chicken nuggets and stuff, and so some fat shit can eat that and stuff because of his taste pleasure, and animals have to suffer and die because of his taste pleasure. You know, this is insane, man. Animals are at our mercy. Us human beings, we made it to the top of the food chain. We've made it to the top of the food chain for whatever reason, and now all the other animals in the world, they're at our mercy. And it's so despicable to me that a lot of different human beings just turn a blind eye to animal suffering just because just because of their taste pleasure, just because they like the taste of chicken and meat and eggs and blah 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 blah, and they like drinking milk. So animals have to suffer and die. This is just despicable, man. It truly is despicable. Because animals, they're at our mercy. They cannot resist us in any meaningful way. And, you know, a lot of human beings, they just turn a blind eye to animal suffering because they like the taste of chicken. They like eating chicken and meat and drinking milk and eating eggs and blah, 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 blah. You know how insane and stupid this is? Animals are at our mercy. Us human beings, we made it to the top of the food chain, you know. We made it to the top of the food chain, and other animals, they're at our mercy. They cannot resist us. You know, a chicken and a cow, if it came to you, you could skin it. Like, let's just say, you know, if you're a psychopath, you could just skin a chicken and a cow alive. What's it going to do to you? It's not going to do anything. It's at your animals are at our mercy, man. It's so sad to me to see like so many different human beings turn a blind eye to animal suffering just because they like the taste of chicken and meat and eggs and drinking milk, and it's kind of just ridiculous, man. Animals are at our mercy. Animals are at our mercy. Animals are at our mercy, man. It's so despicable. It's so despicable. 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 Maybe trying to kind of show you more of the scenery around here. Animals are at our mercy, man. It's so despicable to see like so many different human beings just not care about animal suffering. It's so insane to me. It's so insane to me that a lot of different human beings don't care about animal suffering. Like, what the hell? What the hell? Animals are at our mercy, man. It's so insane. You know, they're at our mercy. A cow, let's just say you're a psychopath and a cow and a chicken were like in front of you. You could just skin it alive. It's not going to do anything back to you, man. It cannot resist you. Us human beings, we made it to the top of the food chain for whatever reason, and you know, animals are at our mercy. And a lot of us, we don't care about animal suffering. That's kind of insane. Like animals, like there's billions, I'm talking about billions of like cows and chickens and other types of animals that we use for food. They're kept in cages, abused and stuff like that, and they get forcefully bred and stuff, and then they get, when they get too old, they get like shot and killed off and stuff, and then they get cut up into neat little meat parts, and then they get turned into chicken nuggets and burgers, and then some fat shit eats that, and then you know, he contributes to this type of cycle and stuff in this industry because of his taste pleasure and food decisions and choices and such. It's so insane. That's so insane. Yo, animal suffering, like a lot of people, like it's so insane to me, like, because animals, they're at our mercy. They cannot resist us in any way. Us human beings, we're at the top of the food chain. Animals are at our mercy and stuff. It's so insane to me that a lot of different human beings, they don't care about animal suffering and stuff. They turn a blind eye to it. It's kind of insane to me. Just because they like the taste of chicken and meat and drinking milk and eggs and stuff, just because of their taste pleasure, animals have to suffer and die. That's kind of that's so insane. That's so insane to me. Veganism is a beautiful ideology. It's such a beautiful ideology. I'll never take the mick out of veganism. It's such a beautiful ideology. I'll never take the mick out of veganism. It's such a beautiful ideology. It's just the only downside to veganism is the nutritional side, because I did, in my experience, start to get like experience a lot of different fatigue problems when I was on the vegan diet, and that's why I kind of inevitably gave up on veganism. But you know, veganism is a beautiful ideology. So many people are stupid and retarded. Animal suffering, animals have to suffer and die because I like the taste of chicken and meat. Like, so stupid. You know, a lot of people are like this. You know, I'm not even kidding around. They turn a blind eye to animal suffering just because of, usually because of selfish reasons, obviously. But obviously, a lot of people are like, well, you need animals to be healthy, and obviously I can't really complain about that, because, you know, that's the case with me, because I had to give up on the vegan diet because I wasn't feeling healthy and proper, so I had to consume animal products again. So I don't know, veganism, but is a beautiful ideology. I'll never take the mick out of veganism at all. You'll never see me taking the mick out of veganism. The ethical side of veganism is reasonable. It's just the nutritional side's a bit wishy-washy. And it's so sad. I don't know, it's so sad. A lot of us human beings, we're so despicable, right? Because animals, they're at our mercy. Us human beings, we're at the top of the food chain. Other animals are at our mercy. And a lot of us human beings, we're despicable. We don't care about animal suffering. We turn a blind eye to like the billions of like cows and chickens and other farm animals getting like put into tight cages and beaten and raped. They do get raped, cows. You know, how do you think like the female cow can only make milk when it's pregnant? How do you think like that happens? How do you think we get our milk? Like, it's so insane. look into like a lot of the nitty gritty details of animal agriculture. You would not if you knew like all the nitty gritty details of animal agriculture, you would not want to contribute to this type of industry anymore. Trust me. If you knew the nitty gritty details of animal agriculture, if you knew about like all the billions of cows and chickens and other farm animals getting like put into little cages and then beaten and raped and stuff, and then when they're too old they get shot and killed off, and then they get cut into nice little meat parts, and then they get turned into chicken nuggets and burgers, and so some fat shit can eat that and stuff, and because of his taste pleasure and stuff. That's so insane, yo. That is insane, yo. That's so insane. I advise you to like go and look into all the nitty gritty of animal agriculture, all the nitty gritty details. Look at what goes on in a lot of different farmhouses. Do you really think all these different farmers, these people that work in the animal agriculture industry, do you think they're kissing the cows and chickens and rubbing them and making sure they feel super good before they get put into a cage and, you know, and enslaved and abused and inevitably killed? You know, the animals, they get beaten up, they get punched around and stuff like that. It's horrendous. Look into the nitty gritty details of animal agriculture. Look at what goes on in these farmhouses. It's not pretty, man. And if you're a psychopath, obviously you would not care about this. You would just taste pleasure. I just like eating chicken nuggets and drinking milk, so animals have to suffer and die. That is insane, man. And animals are not, because a lot of people have this kind of stupid conception that animals are just they're just brain dead. They don't have a consciousness. They're just like they're just walking food anyway. You know, a lot of people are like this, man. A lot of people are like this. Like, animals, they don't have a brain. Basically, they don't have any type of consciousness. They're not sentient. They're just walking meat parts for us to chew on. It's kind of ridiculous. Animals have a brain. They have a nervous system. They are conscious, sentient beings. Imagine that. And there's like billions of different farm animals that get just put into cages, and they're conscious and they're sentient. They're capable of experiencing so many different types of emotions, and they get put into cages and abused for all their lives until they get too old, and then they get shot and killed and turned into like not turned, but they get cut into like little meat parts, and then they get turned into like chicken nuggets and burgers and stuff like that. So some fat shit can eat that because he likes the taste of chicken and meat and blah blah blah. Animal agriculture is disgusting. Animal suffering is despicable and disgusting as well. Veganism is a beautiful ideology. You'll never see me like taking the mick out of veganism. Animals suffer and die. That's despicable, man. It doesn't have to be this way. All those billions of our farm animals that get abused until they're too old and then they die. They get abused, tortured, forcefully bred, all these horrible things until they're too old, and then they get killed, and then they get cut into like little meat parts, and then they get turned into chicken nuggets and burgers and stuff like that. So some fat shit can eat that because he likes the taste of those things. I don't know. Animal suffering is despicable. It's disgusting. It's so sad because animals are at our mercy. They cannot resist us. They're at our mercy. They're at our mercy. It's despicable. So many human beings are despicable. So many human beings turn a blind eye to animal suffering just because they like to taste the meat. They like eating chicken nuggets and drinking milk. And I don't know. And they like the taste of meat. Blah blah blah. Just because of their taste pleasure, animals have to suffer. Now it's despicable. Veganism is a beautiful ideology. It's a beautiful ideology. You'll never hear me or see me take the mick out of veganism. It's a beautiful ideology. It's so beautiful because all these billions of animals, farm animals, that get abused, doesn't have to be that way. Abused, tortured, stuff like that. They get like literally, their entire existence is a nightmare. That doesn't have to be that way. We can change it. We can change it. It doesn't have to be that way. And these animals, they have a consciousness, they're sentient, they experience emotions and stuff like that. And they just, we don't, like, a lot of us human beings are so despicable. We just turn a blind eye to their suffering. It's kind of so sad. And it's sad because they're at our mercy as human beings. All the other animals in this world, they're at our mercy. They cannot resist us. It's so sad. They cannot resist us. It's so sad, man. They're at our mercy, and we abuse them and stuff. It's so sad. Just because we like the taste of chicken and meat and drinking milk, it's so sad, man. Veganism is such a beautiful ideology. And obviously, but I'm not a vegan. I cannot label myself a vegan because I consume animal products, because I tried to make the vegan diet work, but it didn't work. But veganism is a beautiful ideology, and that's just my experience with veganism. At the beginning of when I became a vegan, I was so joyful because I didn't have to contribute to animal suffering, but it wasn't sustainable, and so I had to give up on the vegan diet. But veganism, it's a beautiful ideology. I cannot take the mick out of it. Hopefully you should kind of do some more research on your own onto veganism, and make sure you carefully think about everything I've said in this video, and that's about it.